Hello everyone. Hello. Hi, today is Sunday. I love Sundays. I hope all of you guys are doing great wherever you are. I'm going live on Facebook and Instagram. So I just finished my Farsi webinar. Every Sundays I'm doing a webinar, and that's about how to go within third, fourth, fifth dimension. And what's the difference between third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimensions, and how many dimensions are there? So on third dimension, as you and I know, is very mind and ego based. So basically, where some of us are recognizing the ego, and some of us still, it doesn't matter how old we are, 20, 60, 70, we're like, what is that? Can you tell me a little bit more about ego? So in third dimension, you and I are kind of starting to know our ego, and then at first we start to see our ego as our enemy, and we want to get rid of it as soon as possible. And then eventually, as time goes by, we start to blame our ego for everything that has happened to us, and whatever we can't do or achieve, wherever we blocked, we start blaming our ego for that. On fourth dimension, we can sort of say we recognize the ego. We know that we are born as twin. A part is ego and the other part is soul. And as I have always said, our soul is the whole knowing, right? We kind of accept the fact that I am born with ego. There's nothing I can do. The ego comes with me and the ego goes with me wherever I live. So I find a way to do my best with this roommate. In my awareness, I understand that this is a roommate. So what is the best approach? How could I deal with this creature? And we kind of going into the state of integration. Integration is when you and I receive some information, and instead of processing it through our mind, we go within us, within ourselves, and we start to digest this information. And on fifth dimension, we're fully heart-based. So we're just coming from our heart. The lens that we're looking through life is coming from love, from compassion, from understanding other creatures and human beings. So when we reach fifth dimension, there's no more abusing another human being, making them wrong, or even judge their journey. If they're struggling through their lives, basically, we're not judging their process. We come from a higher understanding and we say, oh, this great soul is advancing. This great soul is going through the process of awakening. and they might be struggling, but they're still upgrading and they're learning their lessons, right? So this is basically the difference between third, fourth, fifth dimension. But you guys might have heard there is higher dimension, 6, 7, 8. And when you and I are hopping in this elevator and we're asking ourselves, what floor am I on? And then someone tells you, it doesn't matter. We just want to go up. Hop in. We're just going to go up and up and up, right? So you probably have heard other gurus, spiritual teachers, that they're giving you the definition, the differences between all this realm of existence. But today, I want to come up with a different teaching. As I finished my webinar, and I was waiting for the recording to finish, to send it, I just asked myself, well, if we're constantly telling people that third dimension is the lowest level, is hard, is dense, and we're dealing with the mind, with this machine that will never shut up, and no matter how hard I try, I can't stop this machine. And then it's not a good place to be, right? So I need to find a way not to learn the lessons in third dimension, but kind of try to cheat and skip to a higher class, as we call fourth dimension. And then when I enter that zone, there is something better waiting on a higher level. So how fast, hear me out, not, I'm opening another window, not to be fully here and present to learn the lessons, but how quickly would I upgrade to a higher level? So I'm having this conversation with the universe. I said, isn't this upgrades and the differences and judging the third is low vibration and is not good and is dense, and the fourth and the fifth, isn't this also a part of active ego that's telling me where I am right now as I'm going through this journey, and whatever I'm processing at this moment, it's not good. Therefore, let me go somewhere else to an upper level, then it's gonna be better up there. And I had this aha moment that, oh my God, what are we teaching? What are we telling people? That where you're at, it's not good. You should be somewhere else, somewhere that's better from where you're at right now. So what do you think, guys? Okay. Then I told myself, I said, I'm going to start changing my teaching. Instead of telling people, let's move somewhere else, my teaching would be, why don't we master, fully experience where we are right now, at this moment. Hello, lovely people on Instagram. Welcome. Okay? So I want you all to stay with me right now and observe and digest what I'm saying. Let's forget about going somewhere else. Let's stay right here, right now, and fully live this moment, embrace and embody the lessons, and then don't ever tell ourselves that where I am right now is not good and I have to go somewhere else. Let's practice this now. So today, one of the attendees in my class, she says, I'm working on activating my Kundalini energy. In this process, when I'm doing the breathing and when I'm doing the yoga poses, at some point I go somewhere, but then I lose myself, I get lost, and then I don't know what's my next move from there. What do I have to do? My answer to her was, why do you want to open up or activate your Kundalini energy? Her response was, because where I am in Iran, there are a lot of Iranian women that feeling stuck, they're not aware, they are not awakened, and also they are experiencing jealousy and competition. So I want to help other people to come to that understanding and awakening that they shouldn't be jealous, or they shouldn't be in competition, or they shouldn't feel lack, and they shouldn't feel stuck. And I said to her, I said, honey, that's very dandy and it's great. But remember, the previous webinar last week, I started my webinar by saying, the only person who needs to wake up is me. The only person who needs to heal is me. What did I mean by that exactly? Because if I wake up from this dream and I start understanding that the whole outer world is a creation of my mind, and as I have been repeating saying this and other people about law of attraction, the other world is only a big mirror that's projecting or reflecting what's happening within you. Therefore, as someone who is looking into this mirror, how do I get and understand the reflection? Because as soon as I come to that awakening, that the outer world is a projection, it's a reflection, and I look into that with the eye or lens of someone who is enlightened. And I said, oh, there is jealousy, there is stuckness, there is anger. I'm seeing all this thing, and then I come back to myself and I say, where am I experiencing this within myself? Where is this in me? Where do I feel jealous? Where do I feel I need to be in competition with others? Where and how do I feel stuck? That's what I meant. The only person who needs to awaken is me, and the only person who needs healing is me. Because once I wake up from this dream and I see the whole lens that everything is by divine plan, and I'm not judging any situation, any events, anyone, any actor in this film, in this lens of awakening, the healing process will happen. And once I'm healed, I heal my wound, the whole universe will be healed. Because everything is the creation of my mind. So once I tune into myself and I start understanding the true essence of who I am a small particle of this whole universe, this wholeness. There is only one consciousness. And if I'm a part of this, therefore I am that. There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing that needs to change. There is no place that is better than where I am right now. So here, I would say, instead of me, there's nothing wrong with to do yoga. There is nothing wrong to open the Kundalini energy. But before we do all that, let's sit in for a second and ask ourselves, why are we doing any of these actions? Whatever actions we're doing is because we want to get or receive or gain something, right? Or we want to avoid pain. So if I tune into myself and I understand who I really am, my true essence, which is love, light, the whole knowing, then I don't need to do anything to have that or to become that. Because as Rumi says, and many other people, that yet you search outside of you is actually inside of you, is within you. So if yoga practice helps you to get to that knowing, great. You can do that for a while, but remember, it has to come a point that you realize that you are it. You don't even have to do those yoga poses. Or for most of us who are searching for our Kundalini energy to awaken, I said that in my webinar maybe a few weeks ago. The Kundalini energy, like any other energy, is active and is running. The Kundalini energy is not blocked in a box that you have to do yoga poses and breathe and do something for that energy to awaken or to become activated. That energy, like any other energy, is active and is running. It's only when you and I are fully conscious and fully in our body, we can experience that. And when we are unconscious, our mind is running here and there, we don't realize that this is already in me. This activation is happening. The universe is happening with or without me. So the universe hasn't blocked the Kundalini energy somewhere in the bottom of your vertebrae. He hasn't hid it there, and he didn't ask you to go do anything to get that activation happen. If I'm conscious, I'm feeling the energy, when I become one with the wholeness, life is just happening. The only thing is, as I said today, I said some of us love the ocean, love the sea. Some of us don't like it because we're fearful of losing control when we're going into the ocean, because our ego said, that's dangerous. What if something happened? What if a huge wave came and you lost control? Then we're scared because we think, as an ego driven, that we have to control everything. Safety is in controlling situation, events, and people. And oh my God, if I ever lose control, right? So some of us, we go to the ocean and we just tip our toes there. Some of us, we go knee in. Some of us jump in there and we swim. But I said today, I said, I love swimming, I love water, I love ocean, I love all that. But what I love the most is the moment when I surrender to the sea and I just let my body lighten up, I release everything, and I said, I have fully trust in you. I'm surrendering to you. And then the sun shines, warm up my whole body. And the sea just takes me through its waves. And I'm trusting that I'm 100% protected. I am safe. And the universe is just moving me through this. I don't have to swim. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to use my body. I just let myself go. That's what I enjoy the most. When I'm not doing anything, the universe is just taking me. The universe is just guiding me. The universe knows better how to take me up and how to take me down and where to take me. So if I'm not enjoying and experiencing the ocean, it's not because my Kundalini energy is not activated. It's because in mind and ego, the fear is much higher. The fear of unknown. the fear of not trusting the journey, the fear of not trusting the wholeness. So I lose so many different experiences because my ego or my mind decides for me where is my safe point. How safe am I? So we're not going to go directly deal with the fear. We go dig in deeper and see that fear is not the first thing. We go deep, deep, deep and see that unsafety comes from the point when at some event in my childhood, I took that, the way I gave that event a meaning, that is, I am not safe. So I talked about it today. I said, let's look at, before we get into all that Kundalini energy and all this, let's come and pay attention to one of the aspects of our ego, which is compulsiveness. For those of you who know me, you know I was diagnosed with OCD many years ago. Obsessive compulsiveness, right? So what is compulsiveness? I really experienced that. I got my PhD in being obsessive. So the bottom line is that obsessiveness is I have to react right away. So my ego keeps saying, you have to respond back to this person right away. You have to do this. You have to move. It's compulsive. And I have no control over it because I have not give that time to myself to tame my mind, my ego, my emotions, and my physics. Therefore, I am compulsive. I have no control over what I'm thinking. I'm a compulsive thinker. I break up with my boyfriend and I'm constantly thinking about him. And I can't stop myself. I try to distract myself, or I try to get help to cut this person out. I talk about it today in my webinar. I said it's not about you rushing to find a solution to cut this tie and not think about that guy anymore. It's about understanding that your ego is compulsive. And if I come step back and realize, why do I become compulsive? Then we see there are some traces there. For instance, I talked about when I lost my dad at age 10. Losing something, so it gives us a message. It opens up an app in our subconscious mind that is very painful to lose something, right? So because I don't want to experience the loss anymore, what do? I come and put a couple of shells around myself. Consciously, I say, I want to be in a relationship. I really, truly want to be in a relationship. But my subconscious say, oh, you might lose this person. It's going to be really hurtful. Do you remember the last time when you fell in love? Do you remember what happened? Being in love is painful. So this program or this app, it's so strongly dominant that consciously I keep telling myself, I'm feeling empty. I need someone to come in my life to take away that emptiness, that void, take it away. But then the subconscious says, that's going to be really painful. So consciously, I desire a soulmate, but I don't get it because my subconscious mind says the pain of losing it is much more, right? So that's one of the things. And I said, okay, for me, when I lost my dad at age 10, I go back there and say, okay, let me see with this event, what apps has opened up in my subconscious mind. I understand loss is a big thing. I do anything not to lose something. Plus, by now I understand that ego doesn't want to lose anything. That's why when I did a course many years ago, I called it holistic approach to not weight loss, because if I would have named it at weight loss, your ego never want to lose anything. So forget about losses. So I named it holistic approach to health, not weight loss. So now I am aware that my ego doesn't want to lose anything. My ego only wants to gain and add. What else? What other app? Oh my God, codependency. I lost something. Now I'm going to grab a hold of whatever comes in. Whoever comes in my life, I'm going to be compulsive towards them. I'm going to be holding on to them. And because this is a lesson that I have to learn and upgrade, and I don't get the lesson, I become codependent. I stay in relationships that is done long time ago, but I still can't let go. I know it's not healthy for me, but I can't let go. I see that I'm being abused mentally, emotionally, and physically, but it's okay. The pain of losing, it's so much greater that I will choose to stay and get hurt day after day. I would lower my standard. I would just tell myself that is okay. And then for some of us who has been going through this journey of spirituality and awakening, we just trick ourselves in the name of spirituality that, isn't he my mirror? Then I just start loving myself more. Loving ourselves more is when we see that the relationship is abusive. Loving myself meaning when I realize that, I would walk away. But when I'm codependent, I don't do that. I just do more. I become the nice person today. I give more. I make myself prettier. I have plastic surgery. I do more exercise. I do even more. He's acting like an ass. And then I keep saying, no, it's okay. But I'm coming from light and love. Namaste. I'm looking the divine within you. So I put up with this stuff. Someday he would understand how good and loving I am, and I'm the best mate for him. So someday he would realize that and he would change. And I also talk about that. I said, you know, I have a post about narcissists and a video about narcissists. And I said, guess what? Narcissists are always looking for victim. And who are their victim? The codependence type. Because they have to find a victim that they can abuse, and that person has to have the codependency issue. So these two, they can play the role for one another. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can be in a co-abusive relationship and I can numb myself, but there's another way. That understanding, loving and accepting myself is when I am abused, say thank you very much, I am walking away. Codependence don't have boundaries. And when we set our boundaries, when we learn to set our boundaries, and some narcissists walk in our lives, we just break them. We just say, it's okay. I'm the awakened one here. But remember, you can never teach a narcissist, because a narcissist is there for you to look into this mirror and understand, oh, I have codependency issue. Let me give myself some time to work on that and to heal myself. Let me understand that maybe my codependency starts from the pain of losing something or someone. Got it, Sergio. Thank you for reminding me. 15 minutes, guys. Okay. So the other thing that I talked about today that makes our ego to become compulsive is the blame game. I'm blaming my past. I'm blaming my parents. I'm blaming, if they weren't this way, then I would have been this different today, right? So we have to understand to cut out that blame game, because before I come in, I decided which classes I'm going to take. And then I talked about it again today. I said, okay, if my mother activated the app that I'm not good enough and I have to strive more to be better, it's not about my mom. It's not about forgiving her. It's not about making her wrong. It's not about blaming her. It's for me that I'm understanding, oh, since I choose this class, my mother has to come as this actress to play this role. And I said, remember, everyone's are just actors. Don't blame the actors. Understand the soul contract that each and every person has signed a contract to come in your movie and play the character to help you learn your lessons. And you have heard me many times, and you will hear, nobody is here to do anything to you. Everyone is actually doing you a favor to come in, play that part, play that role for you to learn your lesson. And I said the other week, I said, don't make things, event, people personally. Nothing is personal. Nobody out there is doing anything intentionally to hurt you, to harm you, or anything like that. I am the one who making everything personal. Why did he act like that? Oh, he probably wants to be mean to me. Why did he do that? Oh, we making things personally. And when we realize, when we come from that part of awakening, then I look at every and each person with full compassion and love. That how hard everyone is trying to learn their lessons. They're struggling. And that does not allow me as a teacher or as anyone or for any of us to judge someone else's journey. Everyone is here. They're trying their best. Everyone wants to be their best. Everyone wants to, they're working really hard. So instead of hitting or abusing someone, just come from understanding. They're working really hard and this is their best without judgment. They're doing their best. They're trying the hardest to do their best. The other thing that I talked about today, why don't you guys just come to the webinar so I don't have to just repeat myself? So today I also talk about comparing. And I also talk about guilt. A mother asked me, she says, now that I am awake and I understand what apps and programming I have activated in my children, how do I go about it now? What do I do? I said, the first thing that you do if you're truly awakened, don't have the guilt feeling. Understand that your children, they have chosen their lessons. And you, as a character, had to play the role of a mother. It's not about your lesson, it's about the kids' lesson, that they have chosen this lesson, and it just happened that you were the one that took responsibility to play the role of the mother for your kid to experience this, whatever it is, for the kids. And we also talk about, like, when they compare us, like, oh, look, you're great, but see, that one is better, that was it. When they open this app for us, that we constantly have to strive to be better, stop. Come to your understanding that everyone is in their lesson. I don't know what their lessons are. Even if I assume I do, let's say I'm right, and I know what their lesson is. Still, I should not compare myself to them. I have to be who I am, authentic, live by the truth, and don't care about how my truth and experience the truth and being transparent, how is that going to affect someone else? That's not your responsibility. You be the best version of yourself, which is who you are right now. Accept that you are the best. You are a part of the wholeness. There can't be anything wrong with you. It's just like God came and say, oops, I'm sorry. For many centuries, I built people, I made them, and then they weren't good. God doesn't act like that. It's not a cell phone that is a iTunes 6 and then 7 and then 8 and then 11. God doesn't work like that. God doesn't come and say, oh, I made the last generation pretty shitty. Let me approve. Let me make a better human being. No, God doesn't do that. Okay? Because in universe, in wholeness is only perfection. And when you and I understand that we are a part of the wholeness, we are perfect. We don't have to get better. There's nothing broken about us. And when you and I come to this understanding, we truly understand there is not even any healing that needs to take place. So when I'm awake, I understand that everything is just the way it has to be. Got it, Sahar. Okay? So, I am a part of this creation. When you and I question ourselves, I'm OCD, I'm bipolar, I'm lazy, I'm this and that, what we actually doing, we're telling the universe, excuse my language, you fucked up. Look at me. You fucked up. I have all these things. I have OCD, I'm bipolar, I have this, I can move, I'm not motivated. This is what we're doing. We're telling the universe that something is wrong. The creation is not correct. So we can probably package ourselves, send ourselves back to the universe and say, hey universe, there was some defect in this service, fix me up and send me back again. Then the universe is going to say, well, while you're up here, you know that there's no fixing. I don't send the fixed one down there. I'm only sending the defect one down there. Do you see what I mean? So trust. If I'm a part of the wholeness, there's nothing wrong with me. The only thing that I need to do is to understand my true essence. And once I realize who I really am, I am perfect. Nothing has happened that damaged me. Therefore, there is no healing that needs to happen. And when I say the only person that needs to wake up is me, and the only person that needs healing is me, what I mean is, if you awaken, you understand your oneness with the whole world. And when you and I understand this oneness, then there is no third, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th dimension. And today I also said, I was having this conversation, and I said, why do we always hold our hands up to pray? God, angels, guides. Don't we say that everything is within me? The whole universe is within me. If everything is within me, then why am I holding my hands up? And I said, you know what? From now on, I'm just going to hold my hands in. In. The universe is not out there. The universe is in me. Therefore, I'm just going in. And the minute I come in, I see the whole universe is happening within me, and everything that I'm experiencing, the universe without any judgment is experiencing that through me. So there is no bad or good experience. There is no better experience, because it's only experiences. And once you and I go within, then we understand that there is nothing as a dream or wishes that's somewhere out there in a distance. I understand that everything, the whole creation, is happening within me. So don't put the soulmate out there, because the soulmate is within you. But understand, once you go in, once you learn to open that door and go in, you are the whole awareness. Then you don't have any desires. Why? Because each desire is because I think my ego tell me, if you have that, then you're going to feel better. But if I'm feeling fantastic right now, like every time somebody asks me or call me, they said, how are you? I said, I'm great. And I'm not lying. I am really feeling great. So if I'm feeling great and everything is here, I don't need to add anything to feel good, then what would be my wishes and desires? Think about that. If you are the wholeness, if you are at every second in accepting and loving what is, loving the people, loving the events, if you are that, if you don't feel lonely because you are with the whole universe is happening within you, if you don't have any needs that has to be met, instead everything within you is just great and fantastic and is a state of bliss, do you have any more wishes or desires? No, you don't. You see my point? So what I'm asking you guys today, my home be speaking nothing but truth. Fantastic, love. Okay, so let's go by this teaching. I'm not forcing anything on you. All I'm asking you guys, come and try this. Don't believe in any other levels. Understand that where you are is perfect. You don't need to go anywhere else. You just have to find your true essence. You are love and light. Understand the wholeness. You are the whole part of the universe. Understand that. And in this place, you would stop having self-esteem. You would start to accept yourself fully. You will don't need to add anything to yourself to be better. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything. Let's all experience this, that I am at the perfect place and I am perfect. Not that I need to be perfect, but I'm great for who I am. Accept this, because remember, this is only your physique, is only a dress up. You wear this dress this life, another life you wear another dress. This is a dress up life. Don't concentrate so much on perfecting what is already perfect. Watch your mind. Don't try to shut it down. Don't try to kill your ego. Come from a place of loving your ego, and understand that that little kid is just as fearful and scared as you are to lose its place. Give your ego the love and attention that it needs, and tell him that we can together feel good. You will never lose your place. Instead of telling it that I can't wait to get rid of this ego, tell your ego, I have love and compassion for you, and I will never ever abandon you. You're welcome here, and we're gonna make it together. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Love, peace. Bye-bye.